I would hold my breath as everyone would drift off to sleep, because I knew in a few moments he would come out to collect his dues. Hi, my name's Holly and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what my whole channel is people send in anonymous diary entries to me, and they're usually about struggles that people are too afraid to talk about themselves to people that they actually know or otherwise. The entry I'm going to be reading today is about sexual assault, so this does serve as a trigger warning. It was submitted to me about a month ago, so since then the submitter actually has an update on their situation, so stay tuned for that. The whole entry speaks for itself, so I'm just going to start. Dear Diary, I've been following your page for a couple of weeks. I watch your TikToks, listen to all your YouTube videos, and like every picture on Instagram. Thank you. I know how this works. I submit, you share the story, and everyone discusses in the comments. I know you don't give advice, but I could use it. I know what you may think. The answer should be easy. I should get help. But I'm scared. I'm in a happy long-term relationship with the man I think will be my forever. I found him when I was in a rough spot. I lost my job, my place to live, and I didn't have a will to keep moving forward. He saved me, but he hasn't saved me from everything yet. I want to share with him my biggest secret, but first I'll share it with you. When I first met D, I was living in my mother's high school friend's house. He has a family, kids, and a wife. They took me in when I had nowhere else to go. He was like a father to me, except he always seemed to want payment for his kindness. I would hold my breath as everyone would drift off to sleep, because I knew in a few moments he would come out to collect his dues. I felt as if I had no choice. He opened his home to me. I didn't want to, and I used to fight, but then I gave in. I just give in. It's been 1.5 years since I started dating D, and in that time I moved into my brother's house, and I have gotten a wonderful job. The problem is, D grew attached to the man with the family. He likes going over to his house, talking with him, and sharing stories about our adventures. The man with the family invites me over all the time. I usually can get out of it, but not always. The last time I went over for his son's birthday. I had a few drinks and went to the living room to sit down. When I woke up, the party was over and the man was standing over me. He covered my mouth and told me to be silent. I tried to fight, but he won. He always does. I can't go to the police. They are very close with the man. I feel like I can't go to D because he may think I'm letting it happen. I feel lost. I want help. I need help. If I don't, I'm afraid of what I might do. Thanks for listening. Sincerely, A. So as soon as I read this entry, I reached out to this person personally. I gave advice that I had to offer, but I also still wanted to share it because obviously other people could benefit from hearing this, and you guys might have been through similar situations. I personally haven't, so that's where your advice would really be useful. Some of the things I said to this person was, 1, it's not your fault and it never will be, so don't even try to start convincing yourself that you somehow chose this. Based on my knowledge, that is something abusers do often. They try to convince you that you are choosing this in some way, therefore you can't do anything about it. But that's not true, and it never will be true, and do not even begin telling yourself that in any shape or form, because it's not your fault. And I said some other stuff, but to sum it up, I really just wanted to get the message across that you are not your shame and brokenness. It does not define you, it's not your whole identity, and you are just as worthy as you were before all of this. Someone coming into your life and putting their own brokenness onto you and using you in those ways doesn't say anything about you. It says everything about them, but has nothing to do with you. I am genuinely so sorry for anyone that has had to gone through this. I cannot imagine. I also have to recognize that I'm no expert, but please just know that I care about you and I care about your struggles and I am praying for you. So the update, after I had reached out, I got an email back. They said, "Thank you, Holly, for getting back to me. Since this email, I've reached out to my boyfriend and told him what I was going through. I've started seeing a counselor and I've also joined your GroupMe page for sexual assault victims and have shared my story. Writing to you was my first step in getting help. I appreciate you responding more than you'll ever know. You're doing great things. Keep up the great work." So that was really awesome to hear. So I am going to read 2 separate entries in this one video. I'm going to try and start doing that because one just goes by way too quickly and I obviously have plenty to share. I am going to try to keep them like in the same topic somewhat just because I feel like it'll make each video more complete. So another trigger warning, this is also about sexual assault. And unfortunately, this one isn't as hopeful. I think this person is still struggling and still needs help and advice and guidance. So, just a warning. Dear Diary, today I cried, like I do most days. The trauma and pain that I went through every day until I was 12 still haunts me. Domestic violence is no joke, and for me, I was beaten inches away from death. The abuse and sexual assault I endured from my dad every day has destroyed me. Sometimes I feel like I just want to make it all stop and I don't know how. I cry myself to sleep a lot. I cry a lot. Sometimes I'm just sitting in class and just start crying randomly. I'm sick of being asked if I'm okay and having to lie. I'm sick of thinking things I don't want to. I'm sick of having no control over myself. I'm sick of feeling like a prisoner in my own mind. I'm sick of so many things. I need help, but don't even know where to start looking for it. I've tried going to friends for support, but they all shut me down as they don't understand or are too immature as we are only 15. Help me, please. Sincerely, T. So obviously being so young, it's hard. You can't just drive yourself to a counselor's office and have the money to pay for that. At this point, I would suggest an adult, whether that's a teacher you trust or the school counselor is obviously a good source. I don't know if you tried that already, but definitely something to at least try. If you actually need help and your parents aren't doing anything about it, or the people that are supposed to care for you aren't doing anything about it, that's where you can use your school, tell your teachers, go to your counselor, because they will do something to help you because it's part of their job. And people do care. The right people do care, and there's a lot of them. I know everyone thinks that this world is going to crap and that no one actually cares about you and all of that, but there are good people in the world, and you can rely on them, and you should try to find those people and reach out to them. Don't push your problems down to make them seem smaller. If you need help, you need help. Don't worry about getting too much attention or thinking well, are my problems actually problems? If you're being affected that much, then yeah, they are. And I hate that this is all I can do from behind a camera, but I hope that it does help in some way. And I'm sure a lot of people in the comments will also have good advice or support. And keep in mind, the GroupMe chat is always available. It will be linked in the description. Just a little side note, I have heard good and bad things about this chat I created. I'm not active in it. I'm not a part of it. I wanted it to be your guys' thing, so I kind of just made it and then I stepped out. The whole idea is that it puts you into this general group chat. I think there's almost 2,000 members by now. And then from there, people can link other specific chats to use. There's one about self-harm, there's one about depression, and then it goes off into smaller communities that actually discuss that specific topic. It's also for you to find your people, even if you just found one person to be friends with and you guys supported each other. That's a part of the whole mission of these group chats. That is all I have for this video. Keep in mind, I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I share entries on all platforms, so be sure to follow those. Let me know what you guys think about reading multiple entries in one video. I think I'm gonna start doing that, except maybe do 4 or 5, because why not? Just let me know. I wish you guys all the best, and I love you, and have a great, wonderful, fantastic day. Bye.